Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris. It's time for Media Watch. James Creedon is here. Good to see you, James.
Good evening, Laura.
Let's talk about Twitter, something you regularly report on.
From time to time.
It's hard to believe it's been around for 7 years now.
That's right.
That makes me feel really old.
Well, I don't think it was being used that much in the first year or two. Then it took off, I suppose.
Yeah, that's amazing. But it's increasingly being used by politicians. We know the US President Barack Obama, he was one of the first, I think, wasn't he, to get a
He certainly mastered Twitter and other internet resources.
I think Rihanna is the most followed person on Twitter.
There you go. You always have this sort of gap between it being used by journalists, politicians, being used in an official way, and then sort of, you know, popular culture, young people, those young people, those Bieber fans, all that.
Bieber's got many fans as well, hasn't he?
Way too many, I think. But anyway,
including yourself.
That is not true. I would like to add. Now, 200 million users. So some interesting facts on Twitter that I saw in a French article today. That's half the number of users on the Chinese version of Twitter, which is Sina Weibo. 400 million users there. In France, 5.5 million users on Twitter, making it the 7th biggest country in terms of users. Now, this is the most interesting part, I think. Let me show you this graphic. What segment of the population would you think is the biggest user of Twitter? Would it be the
young'uns?
Actually, over 55.
Is it really?
Over 55
years old. Do they know what they're doing?
Well, probably not all of them. But what's interesting is that number has doubled in just 1 year. So it appears in the last year, decision makers, politicians, journalists all said, all right, it's time to go on Twitter. This is where, you know, this is the new happening social media being used by decision makers, politicians and journalists. So I need to do it as well. Now, that is more a phenomenon in France than elsewhere. So what some are asking now is Twitter becoming the domain of communications people, journalists, marketing? And is it losing that personal touch where people use it for personal communications as with Facebook? Now, one other statistic that I thought was quite interesting that complements that news quite nicely, 181,000 social media gurus, ninjas and masters on Twitter.
It's a whole industry, isn't it?
So that is 181,000 people who describe themselves as social media gurus. Social media,
what do you call yourself
ninjas.
On your profile?
Nothing of that variety anyway.
Irishman
I can assure you. Something much more neutral. So look at these statistics here. Social media marketers, that's on 1,500. But social media guru, you have 18,000 people who describe themselves as such.
I don't think
18,000 big egos, I say.
One of the most famous French tweeters is, of course, Valérie Trierweiler. But you've got another French Valérie who's made a bit of a blunder. On the site. What does this mean? Is it code?
Take a look at her highly boring tweet that came out this afternoon at 3 p.m. Can we get a close-up on that? Basically, she either sat on her phone and it was her beam end making this tweet, or she put a pizza down on top of the keyboard, or something happened.
Maybe she was in a really boring meeting and that's what was going through her mind.
It was retweeted over 500 times.
Excellent.
You had people saying, oh, she's trying to tell us something. Let's try to interpret this tweet. What did she mean by this? Another person said, oh, she's maybe singing a song. Is it ooh, ooh, la, la, la? And one person said, hold on, if you put this into Google Translate in Turkish, I think we can figure out what she's trying to say. So let's hear what she might have been trying to say. Can we hear this? If I press suffer. Is she telling us to suffer?
And this is what Twitter has become 7 years on.
The French user there thought she was trying to say badger, suffer. Who knows? And for one person has actually said this is she's actually expressing the ideas of the UMP party, which is incomprehensible. And there's a Pécresse generator, a tweet generator, so you can make your own Valérie Pécresse tweets. See,
has she
lots of different varieties.
And said what? She's a bit embarrassed about it, or is she?
She deleted
Just
it.
pretend it never happened to Valerie.
She deleted it.
That's the best thing to do. Now, how's our old friend Gérard Depardieu, the newest citizen of Russia?
Well, we have found out that he's been offered a job in a theatre in Siberia for 400... Siberia, Western Siberia, no less, in the town of Tiomzen, for 400 euros a month.
Oh, not bad.
So there you go, settling in quite nicely.
Beats a French pension.
Remember, he was also offered a job as the regional culture minister in Mordovia, the state where he was kind of given the citizenship. So it seems Gérard is sort of slowly settling in, and job offers.
He's got those new trousers as well that they gave him yesterday.
That's right, and the boots.
Excellent. All right, now, We're all psychopaths, apparently, us journalists.
Well, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know about you, Laura, but I'm not a psychopath. Now, this is a study, well, it's from a book called The Wisdom of Psychopaths, What Saints, Spies and Serial Killers Can Teach Us About Success. Now, there are 10 professions that seem to attract. This is from Media Jobs Daily. There you go. And
this is a list, isn't it?
A list of 10 different professions that seem to attract.
CEO number one.
CEO number one, then lawyers. Oh,
no
look at that.
There.
Media, television and radio. And if you go further down the list, there's
What's
also
number 5 there?
A salesperson.
Number
and then you have journalists. So look, we're not... Surgeons too. So look, we're not doing too well, unfortunately. Apparently there are many psychos in our industry. But then if you go down to the people least likely to be psychos, you have people. Charity workers.
Teacher. There we are, my sister.
Charity workers and nurses are apparently less likely to be psychopaths.
That's good to know.
Than journos.
I think I'd rather the journalists were psychos rather than the nurses and doctors.
Right, that's true. That's true. A little bit safer. So, yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
A list to peruse.
You're going to end up with cute pictures of animals.
Well, look, why not? It's
also what Facebook has become, isn't it? Yeah, why not?
It's not Friday, but it's Monday. Theories of the misunderstanding of things, worth checking out.
That's a good website.
Check out this taxidermied. What is that? It was a fox. And if you go on the Republica website, they have a whole list of other taxidermied and very badly taxidermied animals, which I had quite a giggle at this afternoon.
Oh, that's really horrible,
that's really bad,
James.
Cat. And look, what can you do? Some afternoons you just need to look at badly taxidermied animals.
All right, thank you very much, James Creedon. Don't know what else to say. All right, now, online pranksters, more of them, yes, there are more of them. They've been playing what's been called a sick joke on fans of Justin Bieber, James's favourite singer. They've been persuading them that their clean-cut hero is anything but. Take a look. Here's today's web news.